Hi guys, it's Molly with Made in Amador. I'm going to show you how to make flower crowns. So in this demo, I'm going to make a fairly dainty one using wax flowers and mums in these burgundy and pink colors, perfect for the Harvest Festival in Sutter Creek this weekend. So this is the end result. But for starters, you need to use some bind wire. This is Oasis bind wire. It's just like a wire that's wrapped in paper. You can either cut it into a bunch of little twisty ties or use a continuous piece. For this demo, I'm going to do the twisty tie version, but you do need to start out with the base. This is just basically one piece of wire that is big enough to go around your whole head, and at each end, the first step is to make a tiny little loop, and that's for the ribbon to go through at the end. So on both ends, you just make a tiny little loop on both ends, and that's for at the end, so ignore that part for the rest of this. So now you have a long piece here. This is your base, and you're going to start off on one end. Side note, you can also start in the middle. You can also start on each end and go to the middle. It depends on how you want your flowers to face, either forward or backward, or if you don't care, just the whole way around. So I'm going to start at one end. And you're just going to pick some flowers. I would recommend 1 to 3, one at a time if you want to go for more dainty, 2 or 3 if you want your crown to be lots bold. So you are just going to take the wire in one hand and place the flower, and note how big this flower is. It's not very big at all. I chopped off a bunch of the stem. So if you wanted to make yourself little piles like this, that would be super helpful. But you can just cut as you go. But you are going to place the flower on top of the wire. You're just going to hold it with one hand. And with the other hand, grab these little twisty ties. And this is just a bunch of bind wire cut short. So I just like wrapped it around my hand and then snipped it at the top of the bottom. But you just take this twisty tie, and just like a bag of bread, you guys, you just twist. And make sure that you're twisting. And make sure that you're twisting down so that it gets tighter. And then you select your next flower and you just place it on the wire again, just a little bit lower. So I'm covering up the ugly bits of the last flower. And you can either use the same twisty tie if you have some excess that you can work with, or just grab a new one and repeat that process of placing it on the stem just below the bud and twisty tying it, and make sure that it gets tight. And don't do it too tight because then you'll sever the plant and then it'll fall off, but tight enough where it doesn't fall off. So then baby's breath 2, break it up into little pieces so that it's not too bushy unless you want it to be very bold. So you're going to place it just below the flower, the previous flower, and then twisty tie it on. And then you're going to repeat the process again with wax flower. And I like a pattern, but also when it's super random and there is no pattern, that's also very pretty. I would recommend keeping within a color scheme if you're doing this for a party such as this party. The color scheme is reds and pinks and oranges, kind of like fall. So I would recommend keeping your flowers in a certain hue or keeping with a theme. So you're just going to move your way on down and finish until you get to the end. So I'll go ahead and do that. this is the process of making more of those little twisty ties. I literally just do it my 4 fingers width apart and then just wrap it around a number of times. And then I use tin snips, or you can also use wire cutters. This is just what I have. Try not to use your flower clippers though, I reckon. And then you just cut them on each side. And then you have a bunch more. Okay, so I'm getting towards the end here. And so you're gonna keep going literally until you have a bud at the very, very end of your crown. Here's my hoop, so I have a few more pieces here. Literally keep going until you're all the way done. It only took me like 10 minutes, maybe, to do that. All right. And so then you can see that at the very end, I have some excess that goes past that little hoop. And I'm just gonna snip it off. And in my to-go kits, when I send you home with all this stuff, I have various ribbons that you can choose from. For this one, I'm just gonna do twine, because I think that would look really nice with these colors. So what you do is you put it on your head, basically, to fit. But before you do that, you take the twine and you put it through one side of the hoop and out through the other side of the hoop and pull it through pretty evenly. And then you place it on your head and you just make it comfortable. And then you just tie a simple bow. And that's basically it. No fancy knots, no secret ties. You just do a simple bow and there you are. Then you have a pretty flower crown. Thanks for watching, you guys. These flower crowns last however long the type of flower you got lasts. So baby's breath will last a lot longer. Straw flower will last forever. Dried flowers will last forever. Herbs last a long time. Eucalyptus will last a long time, but big blooms like roses and ranunculus and sunflowers will only pretty much last like the day of. So choose wisely, ask your floral expert to suggest some types of flowers. But I hope you have a wonderful experience with your flower crown. Thanks.